In front of the entire cabin, the flight attendant suddenly took off her pantyhose. And no, this wasn't some random move. She did it because the plane's landing gear had malfunctioned, and they were being forced into an emergency landing. She removed her stockings to prevent burns in case of a fire on impact. Nylon melts fast. At the same time, she told all passengers to take off their jewelry to avoid electric conduction or heat injuries that could happen during a crash. By then, the plane had only enough fuel left to fly for a few more minutes. On the ground, fire crews had just reached the runway. Even with full-force foam spraying, there was no way they could cover the full 5-kilometer strip in time. Faced with that, the fire chief made a snap call to lay foam only on the most critical section of the runway. Meanwhile, over 100 armed officers and medical teams were mobilized, standing by for immediate rescue. When passengers found out they were going in for an emergency landing, panic spread like wildfire. Some screamed uncontrollably, while others bowed their heads and began writing goodbye letters. This wasn't a drill, it was a real-life emergency landing that shocked the entire world. Inside the cockpit, the captain ordered the youngest co-pilot to leave and head to the cabin to calm the passengers and maintain order. The 3 remaining pilots had flown together for over a decade. They silently bumped fists and no words, just pure trust and understanding. On the ground, the runway was being cleared at lightning speed. Several hundred meters of foam had already been laid down. Rescue vehicles were locked in and waiting. As the plane prepared to descend, all cabin lights were switched off. The flight attendants shouted the brace commands, and every passenger locked into position. The captain gripped the controls with everything he had, trying to slow the plane as much as possible. The landing gear made contact, successfully. The aircraft slid across the foamed runway, nose slightly tilted up to maintain balance. But the foam wasn't enough. Friction sparked heat and made the whole cabin tremble. Outside, rescue teams waited, engines running. The captain did everything in his power to keep the aircraft steady, guiding it all the way to the end of the foam-covered zone. Immediately, fire trucks blasted the plane with water to cool it down. Armed police and medics rushed on board, and ambulances stood ready behind them. The flight attendants popped open the emergency exits the slides shot out. One by one, passengers launched out of the aircraft, sliding down to safety. Thanks to flawless coordination from everyone involved, this flight, carrying 137 souls, pulled off the impossible. 0 casualties.